Yes, hello. This is John T. Moss, and I hope I've corrected the technical challenges. But here we go. First off, welcome and happy Indigenous Peoples Day to everybody of all relations. And I just want to touch on some of the emergency, urgent challenges facing every nation of all peoples, especially with today's current COVID challenges. Please take time to, if you haven't, look at the video I did the other day on my Facebook, which would be underneath the photo albums and videos, and then you can see that or scroll down on my page and see what solutions we can bring. But I need to share urgent challenges that for decades I've been speaking to in Indian country, as well as the military in all communities. And really, these are things that right now are coming up as, man, I wish you would have listened. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Well, you know what, people? Let's move forward. How do we fix that? So let's go through some of that with the solutions we bring. So, first, I want to recognize I'm the grandson of Michael Martin, Chief Silvermoon, who's here in our logo out of respect for his teachings and learning and our bloodline. And with that, my mom, of course, Colleen Janelle Martin Moss, and my family, but older brother Stephen John Moss, especially, in us continuing to move forward for our people and nations, and and that means all indigenous peoples, all people, all relations, land, earth, all of it. So with that, I founded a nonprofit that I'm CEO, founder of, which is C.A.S.H Community Development, and which means CADO, Assets, Services, Help, Community Development, a long acronym that the government shortened to C.A.S.H Community Development, Inc. And we're an approved IRS, state approved, and working in nationwide and trying to bring solutions to our main focus, as it says on our banner here, Indian country and military. We're military collaborative approved and been working with the military as well. Myself, with both of those entities going back to 1981, as documented in letters of recommendation from, as an example, one Michael Antonovich, Board of Supervisors, former as well as mayor in the past, and the LA Board of Supervisors, the Military Collaborative, the Native American Tribal Chairmen's Association out of Los Angeles since 1981 on all those entities, etc. And with that, our continuing work and development with our board of directors, such as Randy Edmonds, Caddo Kiowa Indian Nation, who founded the San Diego Human Indian Resource Center, and he and my mom helped start the Southern California Indian Center, which is Los Angeles in Fountain Valley, California, as well as working within the Inland Empire, reaching to provide solutions. And one of the former board of directors or chairman or director, John Castillo, who's now John Costello, who for years has been doing a phenomenal job of their nonprofit, Walking Shield. I want to commend them and their ongoing fabulous work, who we work to try and support with all brothers and sisters working on the right heart and mindset. However, my challenge is that with COVID and so forth, it's come to a modern day head, so to speak. My mother and grandfather and myself, my 30-year track record in business development, being an author of financial literacy, banking, business development that I've proven all over the world for over 30 years, and am also the only approved mortgage trainer with the proven system on communication. My book, The Millionaire Loan Officer, that I use through my coaching and training. And we're also offering to help businesses or anybody on communication skills some free webinars. And that includes time management, goal setting, which especially now if you're working from home and haven't done so, it's a paradigm shift. It's a different mindset. So it's very important no matter if you're a house husband or wife, um, then or grandmother, whatever it is, there has to be formalized structure and goal setting. So we help with that. And then around that are applicable communication skill sets because life really should be listening and paying attention, just as we share in any tribal governments or meetings. Everybody should be using either what Native American people refer to as a talking stick. Those that are talking, everybody give them the opportunity to share, everybody listen, and then you get a chance to voice your opinion or so forth. But that way people can make an informed decision, or you've had a moment to be able to educate on your thoughts, and maybe if everybody's open-minded and good heart for the right answers, not ego, then those solutions can come forward. That's what Creator's trying to share. The answers are there. We just have to listen and act. It's all about actions. So be proactive, not reactive, which is what my other webinar is about, is communication skills, listening skills, so forth. And again, that's at no cost for anybody, everybody. Ideally, from there, you'll say, wow, we need to get them in front of our tribal administration, our people that are working with rehab and drug, whatever businesses that anybody has. It's you need to have the right listening and communication skills. Wouldn't you guys agree with that? I hope so. So with that, the first thing I want to point out is where I recommend people start is go to our website. Go to our website, which is on the website you can see, but it's C.A.S.H communitydevelopment.org, and that's C.A.S.H. I'm currently in Lawton, Oklahoma, by the Fort Sill military base with our work with nations and military, trying to accomplish some of the projects that are here. And while I'm here, but again, there's a street near us called C.A.S.H. It's not, and it's spelled differently, so it's not that. It's C.A.S.H communitydevelopment.org, which again is the acronym for Caddo Asset Services Help Community Development, because we wanted all aspects from sewers to skyscrapers and being able to help people, such as below you'll see a photograph of a room full of over 750 families at no cost to them, that we help share some emergency long-term financial literacy solutions, because we always look at where's the person at. Are they in rescue mode? Are they in restore mode? Are they in I'm just rebuilding or expanding my family's generational support? Whatever avenue we work to help with, and with vetted networks and sponsors, that's what we help introduce and bring to Indian country and the military and all communities. So help us get in front of your people. However, part of my frustration is it's great that what I'll call Band-Aids are always being handed out, meaning short-term solutions. That is not long-term thinking. As an example, with COVID, it's great. People are helping out with food, with some clothing, some structures of where to stay, so forth. But what about long-term? With every box, why aren't they handing out, like we have, which is you'll see the big tab here that says downloadable financial survey. It's a survey. It doesn't ask anything private. There's no account numbers, no social, nothing. However, every family, every elder, whether you're getting married, planning to get married, or a student, you need to get a snapshot of where you are at, where you planning to go, short, medium, and long term, and what is your strategy. So in that, it helps you financially, visually, audially talk about it and put that information together. So from there, then you're able to see that in doing so, what that allows you to do is talk about it and have a plan. So we recommend that ideally you'd scan that and email it back to us, right? At support at C.A.S.H Community Development, or John at JOHN at C.A.S.H Community Development. And then we'll do our best to look at it. And with your approval via networks, we can help identify and get you some help and support. With ongoing, is our plan always with our works, ongoing coaching, not just like too many people do. Here's a certification. Okay, good. I went through housing. I went through financial literacy. No, if you're going to rehab or drug addiction rehab or prevention or suicide prevention, you still need what? Or health. I mean, look at all avenues of health. When you or go to the gym, you hire what? Coaches, ongoing support. There needs to be financial support, which is what we're looking for, where we can do ongoing professional people in the fields or have been in the fields and still are tied to the fields of coaching, because that's how we're going to build generational sovereignty. And Indian nations have already been for years supposed to be totally sovereign nations. And that means that dollars and funds and programs have been shared a little bit, but we need the proper activation and support of these ongoing things. And we have to, like all governments, like right now with the vote coming up and tribal governments that are voting, we have to put all the infighting away. How do we listen and let everybody speak, but at the same time find and act on solutions? This is the starting point. Do a survey. Where are you at? How can we help? What do you need? And when you scroll down further, you'll see we have a book on financial literacy. There's some great support tools out there. More and more banks that I've consulted or worked with in Fortune 100, 500, they've started since the mortgage debacle. Hey, how about we put some materials out there to help out? So there is information, but again, you still need the ongoing coaching. But a good plan working towards a great plan is better than nothing. So do something, as my friend Jack Davis would say, or did say. Sadly, he's passed. Rest in peace. Well, let's get started. You got to get started, right? So around that is now, once you gather the information or have a free financial literacy book, which again is through our relationship with OISTA, free downloadable. They're doing a great job of trying to help out with a good plan. Or the Seminole Nations putting on a lot of great events. I hope they'll still get myself and our teams more involved, because you still need people that are proven professionals with track records in the industry. And again, as I shared, with my background and proven track record of my strategy, my books for over 30 years. And again, this is interviewing CEOs and corporate owners of companies that have gone public or worked in becoming public, from small call centers or data centers and business centers all the way up to for large corporations. And I've done it all over the world, working with all types of business. This is again communication skills. Tata, Hinduja, some corporate names some of you may recognize, in all different areas of financial literacy. And part of my goal is bring call centers, data centers, for decades I've been saying, bring them onto sovereign Indian land nations. We get the tax breaks, we get some work benefits, as any sovereign nation does. Difference is we're keeping all that empowerment within so to speak, are in Indian nations. And there's much more to that, but that's not what I'm trying to share right now. Right now, I'm wanting us to focus on um, looking at where do I start? Well, you start with our website. Then at the top as well, we have some free downloadable information regarding reading. We're working always with helping our youth and our culture. So we've partnered up with a great relationship with the Lumbee Nation. And with that, we're working with being able to have a reading program. I helped, and this is how I was contacted by um, Dr. Ongstein from the Lumbee Nation. Is with this reading program is I helped Hooked on Phonics years ago not have to go into bankruptcy but expand, which we did, and now they became Gateway Educational Products. This product and service, though, is related to audio-visual to help with reading and understanding communication, and it's at a youth level all the way through adult learning as well, and not just English, Spanish, but again, it's very easy to utilize. And we're looking obviously to have donations as well, where you can sponsor, if you will, one child or one classroom, but the child or one software yearly annual price is only $99. So when you break that down, that's really less than $1 a day for a year. So that allows someone to build a future. So I highly encourage people to be part of that investment in someone's future and classrooms as well, so forth. So just go to that tab, you can find out more. So this is our front page, and again, there's many other tabs. We'll talk about a couple, but I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. But there's so much on my heart that I know I need to share so that people understand we're working to bring solutions. So part of that is learning challenges. My oldest boy, Jonathan, he had auditory visual processing challenges. He was diagnosed with Asperger's, and as well with that, not autism, but Asperger's. But he was highly functional, and we went through courses and learning programs and so forth. And thank God, financially, I was doing well enough that I was able to help with that. My wife, at the time of over 16 years, who never had to work, when the mortgage debacle happened, I had to decide, do I keep trying to help and keep my word to my grandfather and elders on business and economic development for our people, which is learn what you can and bring it back to our people. Well, I'm doing my best to keep that word. So that meant with non-disclosures, non-competes, I couldn't work as directly with some of the institutions. So I needed to stay focused on this. Well, that wasn't monetarily what she wanted to do at that point of her life. Her heart had changed, sadly. So with that, emotional neglect and so forth, the courts wouldn't listen. And my son, at 20 years of age, Jonathan, had given up on the emotional abuse and neglect that was given to him. And sadly, in her home in Huntington Beach, California, right across the street, literally, from Marina High School, where Kobe Bryant's wife went, he committed suicide. And my younger son, Jason, came home from high school to find him after he was getting him, trying to check on him. Hey, Dad's coming. And picked the lock to find him in his room, dead. So he'd been in there unknowing to my ex, who lives in the house, for 2 days. She didn't even know it. And that just shows any parent or anyone that has someone living in your house, especially someone that's diagnosed with handicaps and on medication and so forth. But he was, again, high functioning. He worked at Taco Bell, in Huntington Beach. He didn't drive a car, but he was attending college as well at Golden West College. But no calls, no phone checkup, so forth, which too many people see and happen. But neighbors, friends, colleagues, school, people just sadly don't want to get involved. After the fact, people came out of the woodwork and were sharing all these things. And reality is the police and courts weren't doing anything during the time with me trying to prove that, or after in sense. But we were working with suicide prevention and recovery of any issues, but at events. And my son and was both my boys have been involved in it. My son Jason Moss is on our board of directors for youth and is doing outstanding in life now, but living with those post-traumatic challenges, which I don't even want to imagine. As a father, it's hard, but as his brother, his best friend, heartbreaking. So in any case, through insurance and networks, we've been able to affect over $2.5 million in helping Native American people at no cost to them or the tribe get in front of recovery or addiction. This was the only way we were able to start getting some funding and support. It wasn't happening from reaching out to the public. And many nonprofits that are out there doing their best and trying to get help, like Walking Shield, with Charles Butler, working with his nonprofit as well. Those things, everybody needs more support. Of course, look at them, see that they're proven. We have again, our track record is strong in our efforts, but that's where we're at. So that's one of the programs that people can go to our donate page and look to see how would I do that. And they look at what else have you done or what are you doing with. Suicides amongst military are high. And again, the highest statistics have been with Native American people and military. Right now with COVID, they're higher than they've ever been. Well, part of all these reasons these things happen is they don't have ongoing coaching and support to the level they need. And part of it starts with what? Financial challenges. I can't pay my bills. I'm stressed about this. Do you think some of that's going on right now with COVID? Do you think handing a box of food is helping only to fix that? No, we need a holistic approach. Let's touch on all avenues that we can. I've got free downloadable information. If nothing else, tribal leaders, print that out, hand it to your people, and let's get started. They need that help. Anyway, next is we look at rescue, restore, rebuild. What situation are you in, and how can we, via our networks, help provide that? We refer a lot because we still need finances for more of our infrastructure that we know is best to do a great job, not just a good job. We're willing to start with a good job, but we need help to get to a great job. And as an example, the National Veterans Association 24-hour hotline, they help with all networks and avenues of prevention of suicide, but also what's leading to this: housing, finances, food, education, jobs, training, all these things. Both of us do our best to help in providing. Okay. So as we work to do all that this month, well, if you're not aware of it, be aware of it, please. October is National Bullying Prevention Month. And in this, statistically, again, Native Americans have the highest suicide rate. That means even now it's worse, as I mentioned, with COVID, between families and lack of work and jobs, and the stress and PTS that people are going through is extreme. And they had almost 1,000 suicide attempts recorded in Pine Ridge Reservation, and the associated report. And again, attempted. So when you think that the attempts, right, were that high, and the majority of them were youth under the age of 12, it's that should be allowed to happen. But when they are losing hope, if you will, of seeing family and parents without enough jobs and support and food, and even when they're all wanting overall to work and move forward because of the prisoner of war camp region they live in, or called reservations now, which are still under the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is under the U.S. Department of War, so to speak. And our land rights and mineral rights are so affected and wrongly still being battled over. Who suffers? Our children and our youth, along with everyone else, but the immediate impact is youth and adults. So, youth and elders. Sorry. So we work to bring solutions in all those avenues. And again, please share this video with everyone later and have them see a starting point. So next, after you've looked at, again, track records and our letters of recommendation, which are all on my Facebook, and again, we have some information on our website, but the more updated stuff is easy to do on Facebook photo albums. But with their algorithms, they don't share as much information to everybody. We need your help to get the word out. We have a resource tab. Now, on our resource tabs, you can scroll down and see much more of all of this regarding credit bureaus and what are some of the Indian agencies and what tribe am I part of, or how do I get more involved with our tribal government meetings that they have, all of these things. Then around that, you can see, as you scroll down, we have tax information. How do I better understand about taxes? How does that affect me? What if I need someone to help bring facts that I don't really owe all this money? We had a tribal chairperson's uncle that was referred to us because he felt that he owed over $1 million in taxes. So we looked at the situation and found that no, he didn't. After he paid a minimal agreed upon amount to help him in fixing that. And, you know, the reality is with that, then the solutions that we found is no, he didn't owe the $1 million. As a matter of fact, the government owed him over $80,000. And so not only did he not owe it, but the fees he paid were washed away by the benefit of what he was getting back, plus the fact he no longer had those garnishments and levies that were affecting himself and his family ongoing. So, and this is a tribal nation, it has credit unions, has funding for all these things that I've been sharing, yet their membership isn't getting the right support or coaching. So even the tribal chairman referred to me. This is an ongoing challenge in Indian country. I'm just saying, let's get it fixed. No more excuses, people. So with that, one of the networks we're working with is R&T Cybersecurity, which is one of our sponsors. And with that, we have a sponsorship page that here we, again, have our free financial tab, our free book that people can get, and other books and things. Whatever you might need, get a hold of me and I'll work to get it. But within our networks, we have other avenues as well. So with cybersecurity, this is Teresa Rule and Randy Rule, who both military, both have been working within Indian country, but more so within the military all over the world on cybersecurity protection, classes on certification and training and workshops, and now a lot of what we're doing with workforce to help our Native communities, students, learn and be cybersecurity approved. Why? Because we have databases that have our Native American Indian roll numbers. We're the only race in the United States that's required to register ourselves, our Social Security, all of our information, and any child born, theirs as well, for recognition under the prisoner of war camps. So I won't go into all my feelings on that, but the reality is it's a fact. But that affects how some of the dollars that are paid out can be distributed or affected, which I just want to clarify. So anyway, that's Teresa Rule, one of the sponsors. Information. eCredible is awesome. Again, used to be Bank 2, but Chickasha Bank is one of our sponsors as well, where we work with the HUD 184 lending loan program, which I speak to housing and other areas of business development at tribal events. I've spoken at RES, at Native Nation events with Justin O'Connor, which is phenomenal. They do such great work comparatively. NIGA, Native American Indian Gaming Association, and as well as chamber meetings. I'm also currently the secretary of the Native American Indian Southwest chapter of Native American nations, and again, working to help get that word out with everybody, as well as I'm also with the Southern California Chamber of Commerce, which again, with my inputs and things I've been working toward, have expanded dramatically and doing a lot of great things. But again, like everyone, we can all do more together than apart. So this is our sponsorship page, which again shares a lot of this information. But I want to clarify real quick, speaking of why tracking, tracing, and cybersecurity, especially with COVID, people working from home, challenges, firewalls, so forth, in all businesses, which again, especially with my background in banking and institutions all over the world, from again Fortune 100, 500, I know how important it's been. But Teresa's certifications and courses that she's offered has opened my eyes to a lot more, as everybody needs to be, especially in today's world. So is that tribal funds like a stock? If tribal funds are used or granted through programs, which is why we have with our nonprofit, non-competes, non-circumvent, because anything and everything we share, a lot of tribal nations, when you agree, you're probably going for the same type of dollar funds or grants, CARES Act funds or whatever, that might be available, cultural grants, rehab grants, whatever, but they can't give it to everybody. But people are fighting for that opportunity. So that information is different. Or business development. So when some of these, the fallacy is with casinos and stuff, a lot of people think, oh, the tribes have money, they're okay, why don't they just take care of this on their own? And the reality is that's not how it works. It's a business. After costs are paid out and any remaining, if you call it profits, go into then the nation. The nation then looks at disbursement, and after that, part of that is what's called per cap, or distribution funds, which is all documented, BIA approved, government, no pun intended, a lot of red tape. But once all that's approved, then it's divided in those dollars going out. So those are part of the funds. And those that, like our Caddo Nation, that doesn't earn enough to get any of that and never really has, then the reality is they're from broken dollars, from broken treaties, that have happened to every nation and continue, from land rights, mineral rights, etc., that help pay for some of the college or whatever. And again, that's typically just the tuition part. There's still other dollars that have to be covered by the individuals or families. So it's not free money, people. I just want to clarify that. And it's kind of like if you look at Flint, Michigan, oh, it's horrible what happened with the water. Yeah, damn right it is. But the reality is, what about what's happened with, let's say, the Dene Nation, the Navajo, right? How many of them have gone through poison and birth defects and everything for decades from uranium, the atomic blasting that took place? Yet they're in lands and areas that the water flows into. I hate to say it, worse than Flint, Michigan, but restitution hasn't properly or never can be properly. But when those dollars are given, does everybody cry out, "Oh, it's just free money to them"? They don't deserve it. And anyone that says that is uneducated, and may God forgive their spirit. But we're about proactive, positive approach. Please, financial education is key. Understand all those avenues. It allows us sovereignty, which is what we're all supposed to be, families, businesses, so forth, becoming totally sovereign, as well as the tribal nations, which is part of our main goals. So Native American or no Native American leader, help us get in front of their tribal councils and leaders. And keep in mind, like all governments, they change. And there's sadly infighting. So it does take work and effort, as I know I've been dedicated my life to, and many others have as well. But it's wearing. But we can't ever give up. And again, I just want to share that a lot of this is, again, in gratitude of my grandfather, Michael Martin, Chief Silvermoon, Caddo Indian Nation, here, world-renowned Indian artist, actor, first Native American to get a reoccurring role in the silent and film industry from New York to Hollywood at the time, and world-renowned Indian artist, self-taught, most recognized by his paintings on oil and velvet. Here's a couple of them. But he did everything of appreciation of life, from flowers to buffaloes, sunsets. He's most recognized for his white buffalo paintings and others. And he has paintings all over the world. Smithsonian Institute, as well as documented legacy stories of our people and nation. So people, plant the seed of positive actions. Keep moving forward peacefully and get started. Get started today by going to our website. And what is it you can do right now? Right now, you can download for free a survey, the free financial book. You can look at some of the free reading information. There's plenty in resource tabs. Please, and we're working to improve this, but we need everybody's help to do so. So, in closing, I just want to again thank everybody for taking time to listen to this video and share it. And I pray this time the audio technology came through and you could hear me. So, happy People's Indigenous Day, and let's make it not just about today, but every day for all people, all relations, as Creator intended. God bless you and your families. Have a great day.